All right, all right. See if anyone joins. Let me check this out. Just gonna share this. Try and get some people to join. All right. If you're in the comment, let me know who you are. What's up? What's up? If you're watching, let me know who you are in the chat. Yeah, so today I'm gonna talk about how I got into game in Japan. Yeah. So I only started getting into game when I was around 25 or 26, and I'm 32 now. So, you know, I've been doing game for about 6 or 7 years. But yeah, before that, I pretty much only relied on nightlife to source my women. I guess it's kind of, yeah, nightlife isn't the most efficient way to get women. It's and the way I used to do it, the way I used to do nightlife was heavily reliant on alcohol. So, it's, when you're relying on alcohol, it's easy to get distracted. Yeah. By the way, if you're listening in, let me know in the chat. How's the sound? Can you hear me? Give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me all right. Yeah, so what is your close rate for cheers? Yeah. What is your close rate for Daygame, and what close rate do beginners can expect? The thing about Daygame, well, it really depends on the person. It depends on your value and how much skills you have at Daygame. But it's hard to even put a number on that, because you could go out. The best thing about Daygame is it's kind of, it will definitely work. So, but there is an element of randomness to it. So you could go out and you could literally take the first girl you approach home, or you could go out and spend, you could approach like 10 girls and strike out on all of them. It also depends on the quality of the approaches, because you can do these shitty approaches, and I don't know, you're not really in the zone, you're not in the mood, and I don't know, it just won't work out for you that day. It's very random. I could approach 10 girls and I'd get like 4 numbers, and I might bang 2 of them. It's very random. I mean, when you're on fire, when you have that momentum. Um, what's up, voice my ambition? Yeah, when you have that momentum, and you already have a rotation of chicks, and you have that stink of confidence off you, of sex off you. These 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 chicks pick up on it subliminally. They know that you're a guy that is getting laid, and you're not saying this verbally, but you're just portraying it through your confidence, through your approach. I always tell guys it's not really about what you say, um when you approach. It's about your appearance and how you conduct yourself. And you if you put these women at ease, if you don't come across as a creep. But the thing is, there's so many styles of game too. Like there's really so many. I my style of game is kind of laid back, because anytime I do day game, I'm sober. um I pretty much don't drink. I've fallen off the wagon a couple of times, but I can safely say I pretty much don't. When I'm doing game, I don't rely on alcohol. And anytime that I have done game on alcohol, kind of, it's easy to get distracted when you're drinking. Um, what is it? Is it good if a girl says you relax her or you're calming? Well, I mean, I don't know. You're as long as you're not boring them. Um, a lot of guys, like a lot of guys think that, you know when you're doing approaches, you have to talk to them for the thing that puts off guys from doing day game is the approach anxiety. And I think that approach anxiety comes from guys building thinking that they have to entertain this girl for a long period of time, or they think that they're going to run out of things to say, um, and they don't realize that you can just be direct. Like you don't have to entertain a conversation for 10 or 15 minutes. Like I get number when I most of the time when I do day game, the interactions, a lot of them, when they're successful, a lot of them are finished within 2 minutes, two 2 to 5 minutes, because I'm just getting in there and I'm getting the number, and I'm bouncing out. Um, so that's unless you're trying to get the immediate date. If you're gonna try and bring them somewhere immediately, then obviously you're gonna have to bring your A game, and you know get them interested in you. Um, so your question is it good if they say you're calming to her? Well, I mean, the more you put her at ease, the more willing she is going to be to come, follow your lead and come back with you to wherever you take her. Yeah. So, how do you sexually escalate during the date and at your place? Yeah, that's a good question. So, as a rule of thumb, one of my rules, just over years of experience, it's always better to avoid verbally talking about sex with girls, even if they want to have sex with you. If you verbalize it, um, it can kind of spook them out, and it can really, I don't know. Something happens that it never works out well, unless she's a real freak and she's really, really into you. Um, you could leave a lot of pussy on the table if you start jumping the gun and like verbalizing what, so I say, oh yeah, let's come back to my house, I want to get down, I want to get down with you. Like, you should never verbalize it. So how do I escalate? So I escalate by initiating contact as soon as possible. You know, touching arm, sitting, touching their arm, sitting close to them. I always have a plan. I don't. You shouldn't leave it up to chance. Um, it should come across that the date should come across as like it's happening naturally, but you have to plan it, because if you go like for whatever, like too far from your place, that's also an issue, because when it's time, when you're finishing up on the date and you want to try and bring her back to yours, and you have to get on a train, or you have to drive like for like more than half an hour, wherever you got to go, that's a problem, because you want to try and get as close to your apartment or house, or wherever you're planning to have sex, because the further away it is, the less likely sex is going to happen. And these small things matter a lot. Like, if you're not near your house, that can be the difference between you having sex and not having sex. You know. Um. So I escalate by taking the lead. So if I'm what I usually do, I always try and avoid having having dinner with these girls. If you're gonna go on a date, if you got a number, if you got a lead and you're arranging a date, arrange either coffee or drink. Try and avoid eating with these girls. Um, so basically, I try and finish the date with, you know, like finish wherever we're at. If we go to a bar, if we go to a coffee shop, wherever we go, I try and get that done. You know, I finish within an hour. It's about an hour. It's good. An hour is more than enough to get her comfortable with you, to bring your game, and make her comfortable, make her laugh, have a good time, show her that you're not a fucking serial killer, but giving a good impression. So when you're ready to go, you have to bite the bullet. You have to just The best thing you can do is just you go and just pay for it without even telling her, and then you say, all right, let's go. And she's like, oh, what about the bill? And you're like, oh, I already paid it. And then you just leave the venue. You leave the venue, and the thing is, if you're within walking distance to your house, a thing you can actually do is you can literally just say, let's go for a walk. It really depends on how keen you think she is on you. Like, if you think she's really down, you can say, let's go to my place, let's watch a movie, let's have some plausible thing that you can do in your place. um you know and expect shit tests. Always, like, because shit tests are a way to weed out the weak guys. These women don't want weak guys. They're not interested in weak guys. So if they're gonna test you, they're gonna say, oh, I don't do that. I don't do that in the first date. Oh, this, that, and the other. They'll come. Like, you just gotta try and say, put them at ease again. Oh, yeah, come on, let's just go and chill, and they'll come through. Most of them will come through, but you gotta expect shit tests, because if they don't want to come, they're gonna make an excuse and they're gonna leave. That's it. That's not. There's a difference between low interest and a shit test, or no interest. When they have no interest, they're gonna say, okay, thank you for the coffee, thank you for the drink, I gotta go, bye bye. But if it's a shit test, they'll say, oh, I don't come back on the first date, and they'll be sticking around. They won't be like, oh, I'm going home, and then you just you convince them and they'll come back. But that's the one thing you if I think so many guys leave so much pussy on the table because they don't pass the shit test. So much. And if you don't pass the first shit test, those women are usually gone into the wind. You're never gonna hear them again. They'll ghost you. You're not gonna hear from them again because you didn't pass the shit test. It's like, okay, she was actually looking to have sex that night, but you just didn't pass the shit test. You weren't she you don't get it. So this is the thing. Okay, so how do I escalate at my place? There's so many ways to escalate. I mean, it goes back to again how keen, how much interest does she have in you? I mean, sometimes you just know you're not gonna have to be smooth, or you just know like she is super keen to have sex with you. The minute she gets in the door, so you can just go for the kiss or whatever when you feel that. But maybe for guys that aren't fully sure of they don't have as much experience as me, or they're not able to read it, they're not sure if they're going to spook these girls. But you can escalate by what I do is, if you see that mirror behind me, this is one of my techniques. um I sit them down, we talk for like 5 minutes, and then I say, how tall are you? And I stand up, and then she usually stays sitting down. I take her hand, and I say, stand up. And I bring her in front of the mirror, and I stand behind her. I put my hands on her waist, and I say, oh, you're so small. I joke around with them, or and my hands are on their waist, so there's really close contact. I'm basically hugging her, and I just basically start kissing the neck, and there's very usually, once you get that far, there's like, I'd say 9 out of 10 times it's going down. Exceptional occasions, they'll refuse, and it can be another shit test. Just because a girl doesn't play ball in the first time you make a move, you give it a break, you take a step back, you sit back down, you chill for a bit, you put on a movie, and then you try again, and you keep trying. When a girl's not interested, when a girl really is not interested in hooking up with you, she'll look at her watch, and she say, "Oh, yeah, I gotta catch the last train," even though it's not nowhere near the last train. So that's a bad sign. I would say that's a sign of super low interest. A girl, because they're actually making an excuse to leave at that point. It's kind of different from just saying, "Oh, I don't hook up on the first date." Um, but when they stay, so they make an excuse, and they don't want to look like they're like easy or whatever. So yeah, um, that's one way. Another way, another way you can escalate at when you're in your apartment, in your house, is it's really easy. It works. Again, it works. They're already, when girls are in your house, it's gonna happen most of the time. But another thing is a massage. I say, yo, I don't. The thing is that this is important actually, because you don't say, would you like? You don't say, would you like a massage? Tell them that you're really good at giving massages, and then say, can I give you? Can I? Or you can say, I want to give you a massage, because that's letting them know that you want to do it. So you're trying to take the lead in every step of the way. There's no, you're not giving them any choice, and you're leading them on. Because when you start giving them questions and this, that, and the other, they'll be like putting it, most of them will say yes anyway because they're back in your house. But you're trying to let them know that you're keen to give them a massage and tell them that you're good at it. And then some of them might shit test you and say, "Oh, you know, I'm all right," but then they'll say like, I'm all right. I don't like massages." But then you say, "I'm really good at giving massages." So you're telling them that you're good at it, and then it kind of reassures them, and they say, "Oh, okay." And then you you just do whatever you want, give them a massage, and you know you go from there. And again, once they say yes to a massage, it's just like, yeah, everything. When once you're back in your house, I'd say everything is 9 out of 10. There's always a 1 out of 10 in when even when they're back in your place that will not hook up. But that's I'll take it. 9 out of 10 isn't bad at all. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's always like you just it's just so important that as guys, we take the lead, because when we don't take the lead, it's really unattractive to women. Um, this goes for everything, um, every step of the way. This goes for online dating, day game, night game, anything. If you're not taking a lead, you look like a weak guy. You're not showing initiative. It's just unattractive to women. Um, yeah, so you always got to take the lead, and the same thing goes for actual, you know, sex. I don't think any women really like. Maybe there's a few exceptions, but it's definitely the rule that women want to be dominated, not dominant. Um, so this goes for the courting process as well. The guy needs to be dominant. If you're not dominant, you're not showing that you're an alpha dude. And these chicks we're animals. Like, we're in the animal kingdom. This is the concrete jungle. We're in cities, but we're still animals. We still bleed. We still have, blood. We still, we have a life cycle. We're animal. We're not robots. Um, so the laws of nature still apply. We live in all these civilized society. We live in these civilized cities, and with all this technology, and but at the end of the day, we're still animals. But it's not going to change anytime soon. So the dating, you guys, you know what I mean? We've all been conditioned by all this Disney bullshit, but the reality is really savage. Um, Women, you know, look at all these crazy, like, these women that get obsessed with like serial killers and things like that. Like, you don't see guys getting like, men don't get obsessed with women that are like serial killers. But when a guy is like a serial killer and he's even not necessarily even handsome, he goes to jail. He starts getting love letters from women, like not just a few women, a lot of women. This is a documented thing, and that's like an extreme example. But this is just to show that women are attracted to the dark, like the dark. A guy that is capable of doing bad things, but maybe not necessarily doing bad things, but he's capable of it, you know? Yeah, so it's just something to be aware of. Like, that's why it's always good to let try and have an edge. You know what I mean? Like, if you can portray that you're kind of a bad guy, like if you're kind of a little bit bad, but in a charming sense, this really turns women on. When they know that, when you're not like explicitly telling them, like, it's like it's like when I was talking about when you're on a roll with when you have a whatever rotation, when you have plates and you're having sex. It's like it comes across, and when you're doing day game starts to get easier and easier, because women just sense it off you that you're somewhat a valuable guy, because there's something about you. They can sense that you're having sex, and they're curious about it, and they want some of that. You know. As someone said, know your worth. Do you modulate excitement level from laid back and relaxed to excited in an attempt to lead her emotions, Mac. Do you modulate? I mean, that's kind of like that's kind of something that you might do. That's something you might do if she's not really playing ball, like, because when I get, I'm not trying to play games. Like when I get, when I'm home, when I'm in my house, when I'm in my apartment in here with a girl, I'm trying to get down like as soon as possible, you know. Um, so I would only do something like that if she wasn't playing ball. If she, you're trying to entice them, trying to snare them, but usually it doesn't need to come to something like that because they're already in your house. You're obviously she's obviously into you somewhat. So, like I said, I try and if I know if I've already picked up on the body language that she's super keen to get down, sometimes I'll just go in with the kiss, like just straight up because I can sense I know that she's keen. Um, Other times, like I'll do the mirror. I call it the mirror technique. Stand them in front of the mirror. Get behind them. See how tall they are, and put my hands, start kissing their neck. You can do the massage technique. You say, "Yo, I'm really good at giving a massage." Um, yeah. So there's all these kinds of ways. Good question, though. Um, yeah. Be sure to ask any questions you have in the chat. Yeah. Like, yeah, you can always pretend that you're like, like you can make the first move, and if she's not, if she doesn't dig it, if she tries to push you away, or she's like, I don't do this on the first date, you just give it like 5 minutes, you put on a movie, you chill, you sit down, you try again. And when women get tired of it, if they're really not into it, if they're really not into getting down, they'll look at their watch, and like I said, they'll say, I gotta go. They'll make some excuse, and that's a bad sign. Usually, that's not a shit test. In my experience, when they start looking at their watch, that's usually they actually do want to leave. That's a bad sign, in my opinion. From my experience, usually they're actually pretty sit like they're not into their level is low for whatever reason. You know, maybe they see you as boyfriend material, and they think, oh, I don't want to fuck on the first night, so they'll make an excuse and they'll bounce. But you know, 3 strikes and you're out. 1 date, 2 date, 3 date. These days, I rarely go on 3 dates. I just don't have the patience or the time to be going on 3 dates. But sometimes when they're hot, I'll make an exception. But yeah, like the rule is if you don't get any by the third date, they're relegated to house dates only. That's it, and every guy should stick to that. Because if you start dragging that out to 4 dates, 5 dates, you're just getting the piss taken out of you at that point. Yeah. Will these streams be a regular 8 p.m. Tuesday thing? And these streams, I'm gonna try it out weekdays. I'm pretty much I'm thinking I'm gonna be on Monday to Friday. I'll see how it goes because I'm just getting started with it. So maybe Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. Japanese time. I'm pretty busy, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see. But I'll definitely be streaming. It's definitely going to be 8 p.m. But I have to see. For now, it's going to be Monday to Friday, so 5 days a week. We'll see how it goes. How about on the date, not your pad? So how do you escalate on the date? Okay, well, I mean, the date is just usually a lot of it, like I'm in Japan, so it's here in Japan is kind of it's kind of a lot of some of these girls will just they'll just, even though they're into me, I can tell by their body language that they're into me. They'll they've nothing really to ask me. They're just blank. I don't know if it's a cultural thing. I think it is a cultural thing in Japan, but I'm basically just asking them questions, and so again, you have to take the lead. Ask them questions, tell them about yourself. Don't all like I always said, don't escalate so much that you're talking. You're always trying to avoid directly talking about sex. I think most guys get that, but sometimes girls can try kind of lead you down a path, like to try and lead you astray, and they're trying to find out what kind of guy you actually are. And yeah, yeah. As I said before, it's always better to not talk about to get too sexual verbally. You can do it. You can do it subconsciously through. You can do it through touch, and but never verbalize on a date. Even if you think she wants to have sex with you, never say let's go back to my place and fuck. Never ever say that. I don't know. I think I gotta say this because some guys don't get that. But some guys will try and almost make you say that. They're trying to like put you in a trap. They're trying to figure it out, but it's never really a good idea because sex will usually not happen when you verbalize it like that. Um, I don't know what it is. It just you tell too much. It destroys the kind of mystery of it. Chicks want things to seem natural, even though you have a plan, you have an idea. You're like you're gonna take this. You know exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to take this girl home, and you're planning it out. But from her point of view, she wants to think that it's happening. Just it just happened. Oh, it's just something. One thing led to another. But nothing is like that for you. You're trying to take this girl home, like Um, yeah, I see directly on. I was doing Kino and I put my yeah yeah. I mean, if you have a dog, yeah, puppy game. Yeah, I mean, if you these are the kind of bonus points. If yeah, you need plausible deniability. Um, there's all these different things. Like there's the three things like money, muscles, game. And if you have, if I would say like things like having a like a puppy, a dog. These are kind of bonus things that can help you out. Um, and they're kind of like honey pots. You can attract the women with them. But they're not when your game is fire. They're not necessary. They're not necessary. They kind of help. It's like if money as well. Money's another thing. It's not necessary. It's necessary for some chicks because some chicks are just really snobby and they're never, they want the whole package. But to be getting laid with, sixes and sevens, you definitely don't need you don't need the bonus points. Like if your game is solid, if your style is good, you're gonna be getting laid. Um, yeah. Is day gaming in a college environment advisable, or will a negative reputation about me develop? That's a good question. I mean, college is definitely. I mean, I was blue pill when I was in college. I missed that. I was in college, but the only game I did in college was when I was rotten drunk. When I was really I was really blue pilled. I had very poor game in when I was out at night. I had reasonable game, but usually I would get I drank too. I'm from Ireland, so we had a culture of drinking, and yeah, I would always drink too much. It was like even when I did get laid, it wasn't I barely remembered it. It was just, but if I could go back, oh man, if I could go back, I would. Of course, you should do a game in college, but just to put it short, like you definitely should do a game in college. Um, don't miss that boat. That you'll never get that time back again. College is the best time. If you're red pilled in college, if you're red pilled and you've game in college, game over, man. You're gonna clean up. Of course, definitely, you know, definitely do game in college. Just be smooth about it. Just whatever, just invite girls for coffees, invite girls for drinks. I missed that, but I was an idiot. I didn't think I could. I didn't have the confidence to do that back then. I only got red pilled, and I woke up to the male female dynamics when I was 25. I missed that boat. So, yo, Gray Fox, definitely get involved in day game in college. Just be smooth about it and be unapologetic. Never apologize. Never ever apologize for doing day game. Just go straight for it. I like how you recommend short sets. A lot of London guys like to stand and talk for girls to 5 to 10 minutes, when really a quick number close builds intrigue and often does the job. A quick number close, man, it's been working for me for years. I've been doing it like for years. You don't need any you don't need to be talking for 5 to 10 minutes. I'm not saying you can't. If you want to talk for 5 to 10 minutes, if you're enjoying the interaction, whatever. Yeah, sure, talk away. But if you don't need to. If you're actually busy, if you actually have somewhere to go, just dip in, dip out. Like it's always, it, like I always say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what you say. It's about the way you say it. And that takes practice. That takes, that's the main thing that's difficult, is coming across as smooth and confident. Because if you're edgy and dorky about it, it'll kind of make the girls think you're creepy. But what else is it? Okay. Yeah, so the campus logistics are conducted to get laid a lot easy. Yeah, if I could go back in time, I would have seriously, it would have been a good time. But yeah, whatever. It's on a date on Saturday, did the Kino and semi. Cool. All right. Can you tell us how the transition from drinking to sober nights out went? Oh man, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. I guess I just yeah, drinking's tough, man. Drinking's like, you need stamina for drinking. Like, and I wasn't an alcoholic by any means, but I would drink like maybe twice a week, and when I drank, I would get, whatever, maybe, at the weekends, and I would get seriously fucked up. And I don't know, I just would always get super fucked up because I would just drink all night. I would drink till the morning. And it's just such a heavy price to pay. It's just like, it's really like the hangovers is like a serious illness for like 24 hours. It's like you're really, really sick. Like I just got tired of it. I got tired of coming home at like 6 a.m. and like trying to go to bed, and then waking up and then like stumbling to the bathroom, and it's like kind of blue, the morning light, and you're just like over a toilet bowl getting sick. No, I just had enough of it. So in 2015, just before I came to Japan, I pretty much, I quit drinking. And yeah, there was a point, like, I'll be honest, I fell off the wagon like a few times, but like 5 or 6 times. And yeah, I was sober for years and years. And I'm still consider myself not a drinker, even though I have put my hands up, I have fallen off the wagon. But the thing is that is easy for me it's easy for me not to drink, because I kind of know the advantages of it. It's a huge advantage when you get into the swing of things. You see as an advantage, not a disadvantage, because I mean, you have a clear head. You're like, you're able to, when you're confident, you're able to deal with women. Your eye is on the prize, and you could stay out all night, and you could stay out till 6 a.m. and then you can get 6 hours sleep. You can be up at midday and you're fine. You're not sick. You're not dying. You're not fucking, your stomach's not in a heap. You can digest a meal. You know what I mean? The way I used to drink, it's like you can't digest food for at least 24 hours. Your stomach acids are just messed up. So the best way to transition is realize the benefits of being sober. There's so many, and then when you do pull from a bar or nightclub, when you get a girl home with you, you're stone cold sober. The sex is way better. I mean, you're stone cold sober. You're having a good time. Um, it's all good. And you wake up in the morning. You're not stinking. You're not sweating a fucking alcohol coming out of you, and you can go again in the morning. And you can eat breakfast because you're not sick. You can have a normal day even though you're out all night. So it's a good time. That's how I transition. I just really acknowledge the advantage. I see it as you're actually having an advantage when you're not drinking rather than a disadvantage. Um, yeah. Challenge. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean the challenges. There's not much challenges. They like I just being sober for me is just better. I just prefer who I also just like I don't like who I am when I'm drunk either. I just always feel embarrassed about just I'm not myself. No one really is theirself. I mean that's people are different. People get exaggerated emotions and stuff. I just like being myself. I don't like relying on some just this drug that makes people a little bit excessively emotional. I don't I'm not on some crusade either to make people stop drinking, but if someone has questions and is interested in learning about why, the advantages of being sober, I can talk about that. Um, yeah, so yeah, cool, man. Yeah, drop in, man. I'm gonna be streaming here, and yeah, launch you. Yeah, gonna be streaming each day from 8 p.m. Japanese time. Monday to Friday. Mac, when you initially started day gaming, did you intentionally practice day game, or did you just go with the flow? Oh, so when I basically, so how, yeah, so let me talk about a bit how I started doing day games. So, I never did day game before I came to Japan. Um, like I said, I always, when I was in Ireland, I would rely on bars, nightclubs exclusively. I didn't even use dating apps then. This was 2015. There was dating apps. I think I used Tinder a little bit, just a little bit, but because I had just before. So Tinder was out, but I only used it a bit, and but so when I came to Japan, I was in a place where the nightlife was kind of small and cliquey, and it wasn't. I was sober too, but it just wasn't. I wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. Um, but not only that, even if it was easy, even if nightlife was really easy, um, the thing is, in Japan, if you've ever been to Japan, if you're in a big city, if you're in any of these big cities, no matter where you go in these big cities, you're gonna see really, really hot girls walking around doing their thing during the daytime. Like you're gonna see them doing their shopping, like dressed up, have their makeup perfect, beautiful faces, like beautiful. They're just super hot. Like when you come to Japan, like even if I never had any preference for Asian women before I came to Japan. I was never only, but really when you do come here, like they're so feminine. This kind of femininity doesn't exist in Western countries. It's crazy. Basically, I just started doing day game because like literally like every day you're seeing hot women, and it becomes too much, and you just actually you find yourself just actually starting to day game, like without even thinking about it. All I know I did, so I didn't need much. Um, I didn't really even study it. I had read, I was reading kind of Rollo Tomasi's work. His stuff isn't about day game. It's more about the dynamics between men and women. So I was reading his stuff, and that was kind of red pilling me. But it wasn't like day game. It wasn't like I didn't study how to do day game. I kind of learned from trial and error, and picking up bits here and there. But I honestly never really studied it. I just started doing it. Um, Obviously, it would have been I would have learned like faster if I had studied some. But the combination of doing both is you're gonna see results a lot faster. If you're learning the various techniques to do day game and you're actually doing it, because you could study all the day game books in the world, but if you never actually do it, you're not gonna be successful at it. Um, you know what I mean? You have to like put it into practice. It's like these college professors that teach business. Like they teach business, but they've never actually they've never ran a business. You know what I mean? They probably they have no experience running a business, but they're in these universities teaching how to do business, and they probably suck at it. Um, it's like I had a friend that he's a surfer, and he would read all these books about surfing, but he'd study all about like really like a nerd, like reading all the books about it, and that's fine or whatever. But when it came to surfing, he wasn't putting himself in the lineup in harm's way and fucking willing to face the consequences of a wave landing on your head. And some people, don't read anything about surfing, but they just go out there and put themselves in front of the wave, and they just like figure it out. That was like me. I just kind of figured it out. Like I started like walking up to girls, like just like, hey, what's up? Do you speak English? And like, going with the flow. And I figured it out. I figured ways out what to say, and then I discovered that it's more about how you present yourself, and discovering that it's like a numbers game, and it just and the quality of your approach, how you're dressed matters. Like if I'm coming back from work and I'm kind of shoddy, I'm dressed kind of shoddy, I'm kind of worn out, kind of wiped, and your chances are going to be lower because you're not fresh. You don't have that energy. You don't have that good energy. Um, and it sounds airy fairy, but no, energy is important. Like having positive kind of vibes off you that so you could approach the same girl like when you're coming home from work and you're kind of wiped out and you're not looking, you're just not looking good and you're not dressed good, and she'll make some excuse, and she'll whatever, she'll dismiss you. But if you were like, you were on a Saturday afternoon, you're well rested, you're wearing your nice clothes, and you give her a solid approach, that same girl could give you her number, and you'll end up banging her. These things matter. Yeah, the great. Tell us about your greatest day game moments. Yeah, I've had a lot of good ones, but there's been a few. There's one that stands out. One that stands out is was I was just coming home. I was actually coming home from work, and I was so I like to do the game when I'm actually in transit. I don't these I think that's it's time efficient. You're not wasting time, going out to specifically day game. It's kind of um but I was coming home from work. I went in and I stopped out for a coffee, and I think it was in a Starbucks or something. And I was coming out, and I just saw this, just like it was in like downtown in the city, and I just saw this, like this. I could see it from like about 100 meters away. I can just see the shape of this ass, like this perfect booty, and she's wearing high heels, and like I knew I. So I just posted up to wait to see her walk by because I knew she was going to be hot, just even from that distance, because she was hot from far away, and she walked by, and like she was like a 9, or I'd say she was like a 9. And so I was going up to approach her, and I was just about to approach her, and she veered off into Zara, and I was like, damn, like I know the thing about Japanese girls, if you approach them in the store, you can do it sometimes, but your chances are a lot less. So the thing is, not I wasn't hesitant. I just missed the opportunity. So I said, all right, I'm gonna post up for 5 minutes. I'll wait till she comes out, and when she comes out, I'll I'll do my thing. I'll approach her, and I'll try and get her. I'll see what she's up to. I'll try and get her number or whatever. And yeah, she pretty much she came out within a few minutes, and I just went up. This thing I always do. I think I said, "Ego dekimasu ka?" It means, "Do you speak English?" And she's like, "Ego dekimasen." But she was smiling. She said she can't speak English, and but she smiled, and she looked like kind of excited that I was talking to her. And long story short, I basically just invited her for a coffee, and we had a coffee. Finished the coffee, and I just didn't say anything. I just walked her back to my apartment, and she stayed there overnight. But I mean, this that kind of situation has happened multiple times, but in various scenarios. Um, yeah. So day game, actual like day game, immediate dates. There's been many like that, but and I mean, day game applies to night as well. I mean, you can do like street game or whatever. Because I mean, day game, I guess, street game. You can pick up girls even if it's dark. It doesn't necessarily have to be daytime. But um, yeah. How long this live is running for? Did I join very late? Yeah, I guess you joined kind of late, but I'm gonna be doing these live shows from about probably Monday to Friday for now, 8 p.m. Japanese time. So yeah, stay tuned and come through and ask questions because that's what I'm here for. But yeah, I was just talking about how I got into day game in Japan, and basically I got into day game in Japan out of just like being attracted to like like a bumblebee to a flower. I mean, it'd be really hard. It's really hard not to do day game here because really it's something else. Like the beauty standards here are like through the roof. Like really, their Asian women are winning on so many levels. You honestly, like I'm attracted to all kinds of women, like Asian, you know, white, African. It depends. Like I mean, but when I compare, there's just more hot Asian women, without a doubt. Just because they're more feminine, their fashion's is better, their makeup's better, their attitude is better. They're winning on pretty much every level. Uh, like all you see all these videos going around the internet of Western women like just freaking out, hysterical, like hysterics, like just freaking out, crying, screaming, hissy fits, tantrums. I've been here like over 5 years, and I've never seen anything close to any hysterics from any Japanese women in public or anything. Um, I mean, of course, they can be crazier in private, and there are some crazy girls here, but they would never do that in public. They would never be, you know. And I've never had a bad experience doing day game here. Like I've never been shouted at. I've never been, you know what I mean. The worst you get is a silent treatment or a dirty look. They never would verbally insult you, or definitely wouldn't try and slap you or anything. This is never going to happen from a Japanese woman. What's this? Your thoughts on eating pussy? I mean, I'm all for eating. I mean, some guys are like, that's beta to eat pussy. I just don't get it. I mean, there's like, no, I'm not doing that. That I look at it and it's not in a good enough condition. I have no desire to eat it. I'll do everything else. I'll do the job, but I'm not eating the pussy. But there's other times it's like, holy shit, that looks fucking good. That looks really good. It's like that's my dinner. Like I'm going for that. So I don't know. I mean, we're all guys. We all have our preferences. We all have our preferences. So like, I'm just out trying to have a good time. So I'm out here. I don't have any inhibitions about, when I'm with a woman, I do what I want to do. I'm not worried about, oh, is this alpha, is this beta? I'm just, I'm taking the charge. Like I'm taking the lead, and I'm gonna have a good time. But yeah, I'd love to release a book. Yeah, definitely would like to release an artistic book at some point. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be setting up. I'm gonna be setting up. Well, you can check out my blog on macthedaygamer.com, and I'm probably gonna be setting up a more private access blog where I can put the riskier stuff, because I don't want to put it out there and everyone has access to it. I'm gonna put it in a private where you need a password or whatever. Um, but yeah, I'd like to release a book too because I have a lot of good content. Um, are Japanese girls up for anal? Some definitely are. Yeah, that's definitely some definitely are into it. Depends on the girl. It really depends on the girl. I don't think that's a cultural thing. I think that's like, yeah, that's across the board. That's across the world. Some girls aren't into it. And some girls just aren't built for that. Some girls, I don't, it just doesn't look like it would work. You know what I mean? Some girls just, their ass is so perfect. It's just so perfect, for anal. I mean, I don't know how these girls, but it just works. I don't know. But I don't think that, like I said, I don't think that's a cultural thing. I think that depends on the girl. Yeah, but yeah, I've done the deed plenty of times. It's been quite good. Mark, what's your fashion style like, and how did you find it? My fashion style. Yeah, I guess. How would I describe it? I guess. I like Levi. I like Wrangler. I like well fitted jeans. I guess. I kind of like that. Like kind of. I wouldn't say cowboy, but that kind of Western look. I have that. I don't like fashion, but fashion is really important. You got to have a look about you. Um, Japanese girls call me. It's a thing. In Japan they say hoso macho. It means skinny macho. I guess. Yeah. So like that's what apparently I fit into that category. Hoso macho, skinny macho. I guess. But yeah, fashion is definitely something that will increase your probability. So I do care about fashion. It is something that is important. I like denim. I like, if you have something that stands out about you, something a little bit different, you know. Um, that's not too out there, but it is something that's like a little bit flashy. Um, uh, it can work a lot. So I fashion is important. I wear like sometimes I wear like shades, and I don't know if it's just like depends on what I'm wearing, but I don't know. I have gotten the hottest girls when I wear these sunglasses. I day game with these sunglasses, and I can pick up the hottest girls with I don't know what it is. They're like the lucky shades or whatever. I kind of bought them as a joke, just like fucking round like kind of red pink lenses, but I don't know, wear them out. I don't know. It just it's been a good time with these sunglasses. Uh, so you can pick, fashion. You got to find a look about you that suits you. Um, that's for sure. Uh, the Hoso Macho shades. That's it. Yeah. But yeah. Work on your. Always be working. Always be like kind of aware of your fashion. Even when you're even when you're like, even when you're going to the gym. Even when you're just like, even if it's not like you have to wear a three-piece suit, but whatever you wear, it should fit well. It should have some kind of something that makes you look good. Even if you're going to the gym, even if you're on your way to work, take pride in how you look. You know what I mean? Because the thing that's for sure is that you're gonna get rejected, and you got to get used to getting rejected. But the thing is, it's about increasing your probability. So the better you look, the better you increase your various things. Um, you know, looks, whatever it is. Money, muscles, game. The more you increase these pillars, the more you're gonna have success with these women, for sure. What is this? Skip ad. Yeah. So yeah, good question. Any more questions? Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably gonna call it there, but I'll be back tomorrow night, and you can drop by if you've any more questions. Then hit me up, get in the chat, hit me up. Still kind of figuring this out. I'm just using the YouTube live. I'll probably have to use some external software, but I just started this because I was procrastinating about it, so I just wanted to do it, and I learn as I go. Hopefully, get a better feed set up. But yeah, thanks everyone for dropping by, and as usual, like, comment, subscribe, and get over to my website too. And if you haven't signed up to my email, get on that, and check out the blog too. I'll be updating that. I'll be making a more of a private blog, because I want to put stuff up there that is kind of NSFW, and I want that's going to be behind you're going to need a password for that, but I'm working on that. So all right, guys, have a good day wherever you're at, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.